Live coverage of Expo North as it happens.
This is XpoNorth Live.
The Highlands and Islands has a long tradition of craft, and I'm joined now by Ventrillon, who makes her home in Shetland as a knitwear designer and is the owner of the Fair Isle knitwear label. Matty, welcome to Expo North Live.
Thank you.
Tell me, how long have you been knitting?
Well, I started knitting in 2007 when I moved to Fair Isle, and I joined the then cooperative and learned the skills from the older knitters in the island. And it's been now 9 years, an amazing journey and an amazing learning journey. So.
Now, the symbol on your label is a little woolly horse. What's the significance of that?
Well, the woolly horse was a stretcher designed and manufactured by Tullocks of Shetland, and it stopped in the 1960s and it just basically disappeared, and no one has reproduced them exactly to the quality that Tullocks did, and it is a very important part of my trade because I use it to dry the garments in, and the important bit is that it's a very accurate piece. It allows you to get the exact measurements, and it's a beautiful work of craftsmanship in itself. It has little brass pins, and I think the Victoria and Albert Museum holds one in their collection. So I have been kind of hunting for new ones, but it came to my possession through my partner, and he basically had traveled the world. His father used to do the advertising for Tullocks of Shetland, and then he inherited this piece, and he's been all over the world, Norway, China, South America, and he carried the piece with him everywhere. And then we met in Venezuela, where I grew up, and then we moved to London, and we carried this stretcher until finally it made its way to Fair Isle, and I started working with the knitting. And I thought it was a really important part of my story to coming to Fair Isle, learning the craft. And I think it symbolizes that journey that many people have made in their life, leaving Scotland, going to live somewhere else and then coming back home. Or even for the people that is living abroad, you know, and have their ancestors here. So it has that symbolism, and it's a way of coming back home and bringing back, you know, all things together. So that was the significance, and that's why I decided to use it as part of my brand.
Now, everybody thinks they know about knitting. Do you use knitting needles like our grandmothers used to?
Yes, some part of the process of the manufacture of the garments, I do use actually the knitting belt. It's a piece of leather with little holes and horse hair inside, and you attach your needles. And the needles I use are what is called wires. So they're really, really thin needles and quite long and pointy, and it's the traditional way. But my garments are manufactured using a flatbed knitting machine, was introduced in the 80s, and it's really boosted the craft work-based businesses in Scotland and in Shetland basically, and Fair Isle benefited greatly from it. So most of the manufacture is done in a flatbed knitting machine, and then all the finishing is done by hand, and part of that is hand knitted pieces within the garment.
Now, Matty, Fair Isle knitwear has been credited by Chanel. Did that help your business?
It did. I mean, I would have liked the media attention rather for what I do, and the meaning of actually living in the remotest island in the United Kingdom, and the challenges of developing a business in such place, and actually trying to grow and try to expand it and get our knitwear out there. So, but yes, definitely it was an interesting experience. I think it was really good because it put us out there, and I think people now is becoming more aware that actually Fair Isle knitwear originated in Fair Isle. It's a tiny island between Orkney and Shetland, and it has over 200 years of consecutive manufacture of Fair Isle knitwear, and I think that is amazing, and I just was very lucky to come and live there and learn the skills, and now I am able to put that outside as well and be part of that amazing, history that is feral.
Well, more power to your needles. Thank you very much indeed, Matty.